PlayStation.
Welcome to the land of long-lived play where greatness is always waiting. Welcome to the PlayStation Experience. It is I, as always, your boy Dat Ninja Dev, and I'm joined by, as always, episode number 200 of DCXP, Mr. Delvin Cox. How you doing this morning, bro?
I'm doing good, brother. How you doing this morning?
Can't complain, Now that we've set this show back an hour, I'm actually alive and awake instead of barely surviving. So I'm feeling good. Feeling good.
Yeah. Being alive and awake is a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah, especially with everything that's going on in the world right now. Man.
Very true.
Also joining us, as always, is the secretary of the spoil herself, the Platinum Princess, Miss Haley Nicole Miller. How are you on this fine Sunday morning?
What do you mean Sunday morning? I've been awake since 10 p.m. last night.
Well, just because you've been awake since 10 p.m. last night doesn't mean that it's not Sunday morning. You've just been awake forever.
I mean, that's fair. Technically, it's Monday. It's about to be Monday in Australia, so.
This is true. All these international date lines and things and time zones and shenanigans. I don't know. Doesn't matter. PST is all that matters for me.
Time is weird. Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
Yes, time
You
is
care
definitely
nothing about
strange.
Australia's time.
That one's for you, Ed, if you're listening.
Only thing in Australia that matters is Crocodile Dundee and those koala bears.
Wow. That's not a knife.
That's it.
Since I'm sure neither of you got the reference, that's a Doctor Who reference.
No.
No.
Don't watch that.
Yeah, no. Not at all. All right, well, let's just jump into everybody's week. Let us know how your week has been. Let's start with you, Haley. How's it been?
It's been all right. Had a 3-hour long job interview this week, so that was fun. I have another one on Wednesday. Potentially good things. We'll see. I guested on Press YYZ, which is a podcast of kind of funny best friends who, made their own podcast, and it was a blast. We played we played a game they call Rank 'em, where in that episode, it was pick your dream developer and your dream IP. So, for instance, sometimes wrenches get thrown in. So, like a Riverdale game made by Rockstar is something I pitched, just because Riverdale already jumps the shark, and I'm sure Rockstar could do like something incredibly satirical. Other games that were pitched are pretty fantastic as well. Highly recommend it. I've linked it in the PSPG Discord, retweeted it on Twitter. You can also find it on the Press YYZ YouTube channel as well. I had a blast. It was a good time. I finished Resident Evil 8. So that was fun. I'm still of the Ethan Winters shut the fuck up challenge. That's for sure. That man has the dumbest one-liners I have ever seen. They are incredibly bad. I'm not spoiling anything. One of his one-liners is literally like disgusting like in life as he was in death, disgusting is one of his one-liners, and I'm just like, dude, shut the fuck up. That's terrible. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. My timeline has been full of lots and lots of Resident Evil. And I'm glad that everybody has pretty much beat this game, so hopefully it can get off my timeline. And it's been a lot of Ethan is the worst hate. So,
so again, well, no spoilers, but like Delvin, what you referenced last week for why there's a gameplay mechanic for the fact that he can just reattach his limbs, that was dumb. There's a couple of things towards the end of the game, no spoilers, that reference where we're gonna go from here. It'll be interesting for sure. I don't know. It's very weird. But it's Resident Evil, so it's fine. I also jumped back into Assassin's Creed Valhalla to start Wrath of the Druids. I was doing that this morning because I didn't really want to play Mass Effect right before the podcast. Because I wouldn't want to stop. I actually did jump into Mass Effect 1 on stream on Friday night. Yeah, I'm not touching it again. Not enough of an improvement for me. Dev, I know you bought into the hype and picked it up yourself. I know you probably haven't had a chance to jump into it yet. Let me just say, if you don't feel...
I played it last night. Played it for about 3 hours.
What's your thoughts? How's the gunplay for you?
It's fine. That's about what I expected.
I mean, it's from 2007, but I'm still not a fan of the way assault rifles work in Mass Effect 1. So I just moved on to Mass Effect 2, and I'm having a blast with it. As always, I used the Genesis comic, which, for those who want to do what I did and just move on to Mass Effect 2, one of my favorite games of all time. It will give you a story recap of Mass Effect 1 and allow you to make important decisions. You can, of course, say no if you don't want to and just start with like the default option that they chose when Mass Effect 2 originally came out. But the Genesis comic is pretty great. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing. Still just watching stuff. Oh, I rewatched one of my favorite vampire movies this week with Willem Dafoe in it. Can anybody guess?
Willem Dafoe. Vampire movie.
Spider-Man 2.
Yeah. Willem Dafoe is a vampire in Spider-Man 2.
Same thing. Vampire. Green Goblin.
Can I give you nothing. If I give you the year, do you think you can get it?
Doubtful.
No.
It's a 2009 movie.
That means nothing to me.
Actually,
Time
sorry.
is relative.
It's Spider-Man 2.5.
It's a 2009 Australian movie.
That makes it even worse. I have no idea.
The Last of Us Spider-Man.
It also
Boondock Saints 2.
It also stars Ethan Hunt, or whatever his name is, that was in the Purge movie, the first one.
Mission Impossible Spider-Man edition.
Delvin, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah. I mean, what is William Dafoe if he's not, Green Goblin? That's who he is to me. I got nothing.
The movie's called Daybreakers.
Never heard of it.
Daybreakers? I've heard of that.
It's about an hour and 40 minutes. It's great. It's actually less about vampires and more about curing them, but it's still a great movie because Willem Dafoe's character is named Elvis. And he's definitely Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, we'll add this to the list of movies I'm never gonna watch.
He's definitely Willem Dafoe. Here's a quick plot synopsis. Essentially, the movie takes place in 2019, and it starts by saying it's been 10 years since the vampire plague took over the world and most of the planet was turned into vampires. And then it goes from there. Also, the movie starts with someone with like a teenage girl committing suicide. So there's that. Just
fun.
I mean, she's a vampire. She just goes and sits in the sun. Like, she's not like hanging herself or anything. But
yeah,
you're not selling this movie.
Not at all. You're definitely
Just
not
thought you
selling
should
it.
know.
Not even.
You're not selling this
Not
movie.
even a little bit. Not even a little
I'm
bit.
not trying to sell this movie. This movie got critically deadpanned because it was, it tried to do some things and it wasn't great at it. But I enjoy it. It's great. It's fun to watch.
Sound like everything.
It's fun to watch Willem Dafoe be an idiot for an hour and 40 minutes, and also, whatever I can't remember his last name. It might be Hawk or I don't know. It's fun to watch him be a moron too, even though he's supposed to be the smartest character in the movie.
That's what I have Spider-Man 2 for.
Yeah. We're just hard pass.
Yeah,
So that's been my week.
I'm good on that one.
Yeah, what about you, Devin? What you been up to? Any craziness? Any Florida stories?
Just super busy working on episode 200. Well, not necessarily working. It's already out now, but
Yes, it
in
is.
terms of promoting it, talking about it with people, it's been a fascinating journey and fascinating responses to episode 200. I'm glad people like it. I think that's first and foremost. I'm glad that I'm able to put something out in the world that's not just fluff and that matters to people.
Right.
So that is cool. But otherwise than that, only thing I've had a chance to play was Resident Evil. I finally got past the part I was told you I was at, Haley, in terms of the mother and the vampire people. Let's just call that.
Okay, so you finished Castle Dimitrescu.
Yes.
Okay.
I feel like I don't know how I feel about it. I'm still torn because the way the game was marketed in terms of it felt like that those characters were the game. So when you get to them and you're like, oh, I'm finished with them now. I'm moving on to something else. I feel like, I don't know if I want to go on. It's cool, but I'm playing so far.
As non-spoilery as possible, I am very curious to see a reaction to the next area. So,
Yeah, I think I'm on the way to that area now. I just got to the big shocking part of the game.
I'm
quite sure you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yes, it's fun because last night I was in a group chat with friends watching Jerma 9. I don't even know the number sequence after his name. They were all watching it and laughing at his reactions to things. But he got there too, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's an interesting game. I like the fact that Resident Evil is kind of, at least the mainstay series is moving away from zombies in terms of like, okay, zombies not the only bad guys in the game. Like I like the fact that there's wolves, there's vampires and all that stuff. I think that's cool.
Bringing in more horror tropes and elements.
Yes, exactly. I like that. I like that aspect of it. I want to see how far it goes with that and how it turns out. I like the best thing about the game. I like the fact that it's only 8 to 10 hours. That is fantastic.
My game clock was 10:27, so
that's perfect to me. You don't need a 20-hour Resident Evil game.
No,
it seems like everybody's beating the game already.
Yeah, but
which
see,
I think is cool.
That's the thing with Resident Evil is you can beat it in 8 to 10 hours, but usually most people will play through it 2 or 3 times, because once you beat the game, you unlock the extra content shop, which allows you to buy like infinite ammo and stuff like that, and then you just run through the game and do it. There's also like extra challenges you can do. Like one of the challenges is to beat the game using only a knife. So
trophy hunters replay it.
No,
people don't.
Nope, there is no trophy tied to that. It's straight up just the challenge to earn you like what's called CP, which they definitely need to change that, but it stands for completion points, which are points that you spend to unlock infinite ammo and stuff like that to run through the game.
I thought that was something else.
No, I'm well aware. I have literally, I have literally seen people go, "Hey, Capcom, you need to change that. Like, you definitely need to change that." I've literally seen other people say it, but like even one of the challenges, and again, there's no trophy linked to it. Like you just earn points for doing it. Is play through the story 3 times. So,
why?
Because that's what Resident Evil is all about.
Is it?
Yeah, for most Resident Evil
Is
fans,
it?
yeah. Yeah.
Eh, eh, yeah, I don't believe it.
I mean, you're not a Resident Evil fan, so of course you don't believe it.
Not at all. And the few that I know typically don't play them more than once. You're the only person I know who like goes through and does all the extra stuff. You play it again, Del? You gonna play it again, Delvin? Do you ever play through them multiple times?
Not back to back. Like I'll go back and play like Resident Evil 2 like a year later or something like that, or Resident Evil 3 a year later and try like another aspect of the game. But I don't go like after I finish, let me immediately replay it again.
And yeah,
That's
just for
never my thing.
reference, because Donnie just posted in the chat, it's this isn't like a Resident Evil 2 remake situation where like you play it once with Claire and then you play it once with Leon, or vice versa. It's literally just for fun. Like that's what most people do. RE2 was different in that regard, where like you needed to play it through to get the real. So
Yeah. Yawn. Yawn. You gotta realize whenever it comes to RE, I'm just trolling because
I know.
I don't care.
Oh, I've learned. Insert
Anything else been going on with you this week, Delvin? Anything else? Just a lot of Resident Evil. You didn't jump into Mass Effect? I'm shocked.
I jumped in all of 30 minutes. And I'm like, yeah, this is Mass Effect. I like it. It's great. I liked this. This is something that a lot of people don't. Well, people who play PlayStation know this very well, but I like the fact that I can play 30 minutes of Resident Evil, then use the switcher function to get right back where I was at in Mass Effect. It doesn't work all the time because I've had it happen at least twice where it'll just like start the game back over on the Mass Effect side, but Resident Evil will be fine. But overall, it's good.
That's what's up. That's what's cracking. I really hope that, PlayStation brings some more oomph to their switcher so that we can actually have some game resume for people. I know it's a highly contested topic that people want to have, especially for games like Returnal, because there's no save feature. So
it's coming,
hopefully we'll get some kind of resume. We'll see. It says they said they're working on it. There's a lot of issues they gotta iron out, but we'll see what happens.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I completely stopped playing Returnal because of that. Because I wanted to finish Resident Evil first. I'm like, if I start trying to do both of these at the same time, 9 times out of 10, Returnal's going to kill my run. And I'm like, I'm about to start back over. Like, nah, I'll just finish Resident Evil first, then I'll get back into Returnal.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes perfectly good sense. I played a little bit of Returnal this week. But other than that, what did I play? Like, I've been so busy with work and kids and just been tired. Like, just finally got my son enrolled into some kind of school program so he can have a summer program, because I'm gonna lose my mind if I have to continue to try to work and homeschool. So we finally got him into something. Work has been busy. I'm on call right now, so I could get a call at any point in time. I have to jump off. Work has just been super busy, kind of taking over everything. As far as the gaming front, yeah, I played a little bit of Returnal. Destiny, that's what I played. I played a good amount of Destiny because they had a new season drop this week. So just going through all the story beats there. And then, I bought into the hype, all the Mass Effect. I was like, all right, let's just go ahead and check it out. I don't have anything that's huge as far as story-wise that I'm playing right now. So felt like, yeah, why not? So yeah, jumped into Mass Effect 1 because I didn't want to just start off with 2 again because it feels so disconnected to me, not having played through the actual story. Like, I don't like starting franchises in the middle. It just doesn't work. Even with the Genesis comic, everything just felt so disconnected, which is one of the reasons why I never really got into Mass Effect 2. So started off ME1. Yeah, it feels like an older game, but it doesn't feel horrible. Like, I'm not expecting it to be this like amazing first person shooter experience or anything. I was expecting kind of janky RPG mechanics. So My expectations were fine. It feels fine. I don't have any issues with it.
I will say this
Lots
for you,
and
Dev.
lots of dialogue.
I will say this. I think this is going to help you a lot in terms of this game. Going from Mass Effect 1 to 2 without having played 2 is going to be an amazing experience for you. Because you're going to play 2 like, oh, this controls a lot better. And this plays a lot better. And it's a lot more simplified in 2 in terms of the upgrading system and things like that. The little smaller details that they add to 2 make the experience so much better.
Yeah.
The quality of life enhancements. I mean, I've played
Also,
2. I played 2 when it came out back in the day. I still have it somewhere.
shout
Lying
out
around.
shout out to the fact that it loads in like 10 seconds too. So
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great.
It does load really fast, which I like. But I've also been sitting in the elevator like scenes just to hear the dialogue
yeah,
because why not? But yeah, lots of dialogue. I've already recruited Garrus and Rex.
nice,
So
nice.
yeah.
Yeah,
So far, I played about 3 hours of it. That was all last night. So
Rex is pretty good. He's one of my favorite companions in Mass Effect 1. So
I like his voice. The voice acting is good, except for Shepard. He sounds ridiculous. Like
fun story about that. Did
they
you
couldn't
know?
get that to be any better. Oh god, it's awful.
Fun story. Did you know that the voice actor for male Shepard was a model before they got him
Yes.
for that? Like, had no voice acting experience or anything. Just straight up, just a model they pulled off the streets. And
They
then for
could have
Very
pulled.
handsome man.
FemShep, they were like, "Hey, let's get Jennifer Hale."
Yeah. It's crazy because I've seen ads with the actual like male model. I'm like, damn, that's Commander Shepard. Like he looks exactly like to the T. It's like it almost is eerie. Like that's a video game character come to life.
Yeah.
I
Same
really
dude.
gotta wonder: is there like a behind the scenes on why they chose to let that dude like voice act and kept it in? When you hear all of the other amazing voice acting in the game, and you kept that, like you couldn't feel how off and awkward it was. Like it's so bad. It's so
I will
bad.
say this: it gets better as the series goes on.
Yeah, Mass
But-
Effect 2 improves male M Shep. For reference, I refer to them as M and Fem Shep. So M Shep just sounds way better in 2. It's like he actually got some lessons in between Mass Effect 1 and 2.
Yeah,
Good lord. Like, ugh.
It's almost
in his
like
voice too. His voice
you-
is just. Ugh.
Hey,
it's almost like when you watch the first Fast and Furious movie and you hear Paul Walker talk, and then you
Comedy
go to like
face.
Fast Five, and you're like, holy crap, this
Yeah.
guy's acting has improved a lot.
there's another great comparison there. It's like watching the first season of Supernatural and hearing Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki talk, and then moving on to like season 8 and the deepening of their voices and the fact that they can actually enunciate their words now.
Yeah,
Yeah, but other than that, I'm enjoying my time with it. Excited to see where it all goes. All this sci-fi shenanigans. I mean, it's right up my alley. So
We'll
I'm
bang,
excited
okay?
to finally be able to join all you people in this Mass Effect shenanigans.
I like that Delvin
And-
immediately got my reference and Dev just went right on past it.
Yeah,
I will say this: out of the Mass Effect trilogy, 1 is probably the most nerdiest by far.
Oh yeah, like it's
Like
definitely like you gotta unlock heavy armor. You've got to unlock you unlock stuff by skill point stuff. Whereas in ME2 and 3, like things are unlocked by default. So
And it feels more like an action game in 2 and 3.
which is
Yeah.
But
fine.
1 is going to
mean-
give you history, facts on the Protheans and everything.
Oh yeah,
You're
I've
going to
been
be reading books and stuff.
I've been clicking on all that because I love that stuff. It just
Oh,
it
yeah,
fleshes
yeah.
out the world so well.
Mass Effect has some
Yeah.
great lore, and I'm very excited that all of the DLC is included in this package because I played Mass Effect 3 through the ending, and the only DLC for 3 that I ever got to play was like the extended edition ending. I never got to play like Leviathan or the Cerberus DLC or any of that. I never got to play Arrival for ME2. I'd played with the companion DLCs they had because those came with the base PS3 game, but I never got to play Arrival or anything like that. So very excited to get through that stuff now.
Ooh, well,
I
I'm
played
excited to see
all the
where it
DLC except
goes.
the DLC for 3.
Well, I'm sure we'll be talking about this for like the rest of the year because it's such a long game and it's
Oh,
3 of them.
also, by the way, while we're at it, I did pre-order Ratchet and Clank this last night, so I'll
That's
be
awesome.
I'll be able to talk about that when that comes out in 26 days.
Congrats. Yeah, I'll definitely be pre-ordering that the day before it comes out. And then Final Fantasy. I don't know which one I'm gonna play first because Final Fantasy. It's gonna be a tough call. Tough call indeed.
I mean,
But
I
Final
wonder
Ratchet
Fantasy
looks
how.
comes
amazing.
out first, so
Yeah,
comes out.
it does. But that's a long game. So
Yeah,
I wonder how long the Yuffie story is actually gonna be though. So
That's just what I was going to say.
because I'm not playing through the main campaign again. I just want to
I
play
was gonna
the
say
extra part.
the real question is will your save data transfer, or will you have to play through the whole game again?
No, it says it transfers. I mean, I have the save data on my system. They said it transfers, so
I
I hope
would,
they
but
iron that out.
not right now because there's so much stuff to play. So why would I play through Final Fantasy 7 again?
Yeah, I'm definitely not. That was 70 hours. I'm not playing through that again. Not gonna happen.
You know what
No.
I'm real excited to play through later this year again? Jedi Fallen Order. Let's get that second platinum. Woo!
I didn't even get the first platinum. Not gonna do it. And I've played the game twice.
I mean, it's an obtainable platinum. It's not like hard or anything. You don't need to play on the hardest difficulty or anything. So
I'm going to have
Yeah,
to start
I
that
mean-
game back over.
I mean, I played it on the harder difficulty, but it's
That's,
just there's extra stuff.
yeah, but that's another one of those games, Dev, for you where you could literally line up, get like knocking your platinum out as you
Oh.
finish the game.
Oh, I know, but like having to dodge and kick an animal, I'm not bothering with that.
It's
Like-
not hard. There's literally a set area to do it in, and there's only one area in the game you can do it. That's
Yeah,
it.
just run right by him. He's annoying. I'm not even gonna bother with it. Like it's little stuff like that that I don't even want to bother with getting. Like
we
same
may
stuff
have
like
to clarify that statement.
What?
Having a dodge and kick animal. I just
Exactly.
going to put that out.
There's literally a trophy for dodging and kicking one of the goats.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's weird. But it's like the same stuff like Tomb Raider when they have like throw a chicken and shoot it. I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like, why would I do that?
Actually, when you do that,
Yeah.
there's a very funny animation that's like it's well worth the achievement. Like it's literally and my favorite thing about that Tomb Raider game. So for anyone who's not familiar, that's an achievement in Rise of the Tomb Raider. My favorite one was when IGN posted a GIF of like a rave going on in the cave that Lara crawls through, where all the scorpions like crawl over her.
Yeah, no, I'm not tossing a chicken and shooting it just for a trophy. Like, no. But I'm not a trophy hunter, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
All right. Well, glad you guys' weeks were well. Hopefully you get that job, Haley, and it all goes well and you'll be gainfully employed and we can not have to go pull you out of Canada and get you a job out here. Stay home and work. All right, well, let's get into some questions because we've got a few. First question comes from that retro code over on Twitter, and he asked, does the Tokyo Game Show play a part of Sony's marketing and announcements like E3? Should we make predictions for that event also?
Yes.
I'm
and
going to say no. You go first.
Go
Hannah.
ahead.
Why you-
No, you go ahead because you have a concrete answer.
I feel like usually the Tokyo Game Show announcements are really Japan specific. So unless you're into that type of stuff, you're not going to get it. Like once in a while, they give you like a Persona announcement or something like that. That's kind of universal. But for the most part, it's always stuff that, like, oh, that looks cool, but I'm probably never going to play that. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my reason for yes and no. Yes, for the Japanese market, But for a Western audience, no, it absolutely doesn't really factor in. Like Delvin said, occasionally you'll get like a Persona announcement or something that's really big over in the West. But most of the time, it's just for the Japanese market, which is fine. It's literally called the Tokyo Game Show. Like that's what it's for. Um, the downside is you can make predictions for it, but Sony's really unpredictable with Tokyo Game Show. I feel like
Very.
Yeah, yeah. You guys basically echo what I was thinking. Like it plays a part in their marketing for that portion of the world, but TGS typically for Western audiences, unless you're big into the JRPGs, isn't exactly something that we pay a whole lot of attention to. Like you always kind of hope for something that you might be interested in to come to TGS, but it's just not. It's not a show that I pay that much attention to because typically there aren't games there that I would be interested in. But somebody like Garrett, who really loves the JRPGs, then absolutely.
Yeah.
That's probably a show that he's paying attention to and making predictions for. But I mean, it's also a possibility that Sony
45.
Oh, good lord. Yeah. I mean, they could shift some stuff to TGS if they're not, planning on being big at E3 and kind of make it their show. I mean, it's not like we don't get a PlayStation experience anymore like that. They killed that, so they could very easily decide to make Tokyo Game Show like their thing. So, but as far as predictions, I have none. There will be JRPGs and maybe something Yakuza. There you go. Those are my predictions.
yes, Donnie, they were.
I'm trying to think of anything I would predict for the Tokyo Game Show. Maybe another Persona teaser, like for something Persona related in terms of like another dance all night or something like that, or Shimigami Tensei. It's so weird because you don't know what they're gonna do for over there because it's always some kind of weird random stuff, and then once in a while you get something really cool like the Vita faceplate covers or something like the Vita variants, or hey, here's these new faceplates, but they're only in Japan. That was the thing. I do remember
that's the other thing. The only Japan stuff. I'm just like, I don't even want to bother because I'm not importing nothing.
I think one year they announced faceplates that looked cool, but they were like only for Japan. I'm like, damn, that sucks.
Yeah.
Also, switching the faceplates on the PS4 was a huge pain in the ass.
Was it?
Yeah.
It was easy to me.
It was super easy.
Sliding them off was easy, but you had to be super careful putting them back on because like people were complaining online that they were accidentally stripping the screw while trying to put like the faceplate back on. The screw for the hard drive, by the way, because the faceplate that would switch for the PS4 was right over top of the hard drive. People were complaining about stripping their screws as they put the faceplate back on.
People need to be more careful. They were definitely doing it wrong because it just slid on and
happen.
Off. But come on.
Yeah.
Stop doing it wrong. Stop being so rough with your consoles, people. Treat them gently like little babies. Terrible. But yeah, maybe we'll get some faceplates. Hopefully they're not Japan only because I feel like that's a lot of what that stuff ends up being.
What if they're only sold on the PlayStation Gear Store where they're like $90 a pop?
I was going to say, then it'll be way too expensive. It'll be ridiculously overpriced. And my PlayStation will just sit and continue to be white.
I mean, it's white, but you've got Ghost of Tsushima accenting on it, right?
This is correct. It's got some good old toasty stickers on there. So I doubt that I'll even replace the faceplates because not my thing. I'm sure Donnie will buy like 30,000 of them. Thank you. All right. Next question comes in from Yard Sale Artist. He says, I love my retro questions. So let's go back to PS1. Name 5 essential games that should be in every PS1 library.
Well, y'all have fun with this question.
Okay, that's easy for me. This is easy for me. Tomb Raider, Final Fantasy VII, Metal Gear Solid, Resident Evil, and did I say? I'm trying to think of the ones I said so far.
Tomb Raider, Resident Evil, Metal Gear Solid, Final Fantasy VII.
So you need one more.
And the last one, I will say Tekken.
Well, that's a good one. I would probably, because I definitely was gonna have Gran Turismo. I would throw in there. So Gran
Okay.
Turismo, Final Fantasy VII, Metal Gear Solid. I mean Resident Evil, just because like it really has roots there, even though it's not a game that I care about. Um, I
That fifth one is the hard one.
know that fifth one is tough. You know what? Final Fantasy Tactics. That game is
That's a good one.
amazing. That is an amazing, amazing tactics game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
kind of
definitely
agree.
no crash, no spiral. Those can all kick rocks.
Yeah,
Sorry, Garrett.
I I don't really have an answer for this because I never played PlayStation One really. Like
Yeah,
so
I played a ton of PS1, but it was mostly sports games. That's when I was like big into the sports games, and that's when I finally found Final Fantasy, Metal Gear, all that good stuff. Like, but as far as a lot of the little platformers and stuff, I had played enough of those on Nintendo. I was so excited to get away from like cartoony happy stuff. Like Metal
Yeah,
Gear Solid was like, oh my god, this is mind blowing at the time. Just
I kind of agree.
because
Like,
everything was all cute and colory. I'm like, oh, I don't want to play it anymore. I'm over that crap.
yeah, kind of felt like when you got to the PS1, it's like, oh, this is the big boy console. This is for
Hmm.
adults. It seems silly when you're looking at it now as an adult, like, oh, yeah, I wasn't
Yeah.
really that big boy and stuff. But playing, I remember, I think the first game I got was Resident Evil for it. So
Mm.
playing that and seeing that beginning cutscene, like, oh, people are dying in very
Yeah.
violent ways and stuff, and seeing the zombie at the beginning and things like that, that was like a game changer for me. Like, this is cool.
Yeah. Yep. Same here. I think one of the first games that I played on there was a game called Loaded. It was like a gauntlet type game, top down, and you were going through rooms like clearing out stuff, but it was like super violent and over the top.
I
Um,
remember that.
and yeah, it definitely had like this shift, like, oh, this is adult stuff. This is it's more mature. It's no more of this colorful platformy crap. So it definitely was what I was looking for at the time, which is ridiculous because I was only in like the ninth grade.
I
So
will say this, which is funny. My first two games I got for PS1 were Resident Evil and Jumping Flash.
oh god, jumping
Take a while to
flash.
guess
I don't know what
which
Jumping
game
Flash.
I played and which game I didn't play.
I remember playing the demo for Jumping Flash and being like, "What the hell is this?"
It
I
is not
to this
good.
day, yeah, I still can't believe that that was a thing. Just oh god, man, demo disc. Did you ever play like the ESPN Extreme games? Like they look like full motion video games, but
Yes,
oh my god, so janky looking.
everything was janky looking on PS1, but I loved it. I loved it to
Yeah,
death.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's a great question. Great question. Sorry that you don't have any PS1 memories there, Haley. I mean, Tony Hawk, right?
Tony Hawk is literally the only one I played.
There you go.
There it is.
Yeah, I can't include four more there, Delvin. So
Hey, sometimes one is enough.
And I almost want to say like Need for Speed because that was another really good one on there.
That was a good one.
Memories, memories. All right, our next question, and bear with me because this is a little bit longer, but I enjoyed it so much, I decided I'm going to read the whole thing. So, Mr. Pastor Lucas Ham Rogers over in the Good Morning Guys Discord, he said, I just loaded up and started playing Mass Effect this week. And let me tell you, I am pumped to get the platinum because they have taken out the difficulty related trophies and the need to
yep.
do multiple playthroughs to play the entire campaign with only two side characters each. Along with this change, I plan to play almost complete opposite of the original playthrough on my Xbox in 2013, Femshep and a Renegade Sentinel, who I named Mara Jade. Great name, by the way. And honestly, while I have no problem playing a female character, as was said by y'all last week, some of the best video game stories in last year were starring females. But I am having a hard time being a jerk or amoral or almost immoral at times with my decisions. Have you played a game or taken a path in a game that was hard because it went against your outlook or attitude in life?
Yeah. Hi, welcome to Fallout 3, where it asks if you want to detonate the bomb in Megaton. Hi, I did that. Felt so bad I had to reload the game.
Infamous Second Son. Playing that second playthrough, because I actually that's one of the few games I got the platinum in. Playing that evil playthrough, I didn't feel was genuine to the character.
Mm-hmm.
Where it was cool, so like, oh, this doesn't feel right. He just seems like he's just being a big old meanie to be a big old meanie. Like,
Yeah, a lot of the infamous decisions in the evil playthrough are literally just be a dick for the sake of be a dick. Like, uh, spoilers for Infamous 1, and they're small, not story related. One of the optional, like, evil side missions, I might add, has you literally just zap innocent civilians so you don't get sprayed with random, like, goo that, like, hurts you. And it's just like, wow, way to be a dick to be a dick. Like,
Yeah. So
I feel like
that's also. Go ahead.
no, I'm gonna say I feel like Mass Effect does a good job of that in
yeah.
terms of, well, you're not really being a dick in the renegade option. You're just being more assertive as
Yeah.
opposed to
Mm-hmm.
the other options. So you're still a good guy, but you're just a more of aggressive type of Jack Bauer type good guy when you pick the renegade option as opposed to the other options.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
one, and I always do this, even though I generally play Paragon and Mass Effect. But one of the greatest renegade options in Mass Effect is literally to punch the reporter who just keeps being a dick to you. Like literally, you just
Yes.
get a prompt to just punch the reporter in the face. Uh, literally do it every time.
Spoilers.
Sorry,
That's not that bad of a spoiler.
that's
I would
not
have
story
liked to have
related.
been surprised by that
Oh.
option. I just talked to her. I just talked to her before I saved and shut off the game last night.
Well,
Well,
I guess it was that bad of a spoiler.
I'm sorry, Dev. I should have thought about that because you never played it. But like that's an example of a renegade option in Mass Effect, as opposed to like, hey, are you gonna bomb an entire city? Like the renegade options in Mass Effect aren't exactly like, hey, you're evil. It's just straight up like, hey, instead of being like, are you okay? You're just like, I gave you an order, go do it. Like that's literally like, that's the difference with Mass
Yeah.
Effect.
Yeah, for me, it's not. It's never so much like hard because it goes against my outlook or attitude in life. It's always like it's not compelling enough of an option for the character. Like it just doesn't. A lot of times, the evil playthroughs, they're not compelling. They're not interesting. They're just like you're just doing dumb bad stuff to be bad. Like I need Thanos the video game. If you want me to be like quote unquote the bad guy, I need a compelling enough reason or compelling enough story to actually make those decisions. But when
I
it's
will
just
say
like
this.
leech these characters, they're because you're gonna be a power leech, or go shoot these bad guys, go kill these innocent civilians just because you want to be bad, or steal their food just cause. Like it's not. That doesn't really compel me to want to play the bad side of the story, or like even in, for example, Watch Dogs, you can use guns and kill people, but it just doesn't feel like his character. It's not so much that it goes against like my outlook because I will be Nathan Drake and murder everyone. But for Marcus and Watch Dogs and Watch Dogs 2, it just doesn't feel like his character, so it doesn't make any sense.
I will
What were you
say
gonna say,
this.
Delvin?
Mass Effect, in particular, there are consequences for how you play the game in terms of if you're more renegade or you're more paragon. There are different outcomes that come out because of that,
Yeah.
Yeah,
which
I'm
adds to
excited
the
to
rest of
see
the
all
interest.
that. Yeah. I like some of like the options there. Like it doesn't feel so much good guy bad guy. It feels more like, do you want to be assertive or do you want to try and butter people up? Like so I like that it's not so much of a, do you want to just be an asshole versus do you want to be this happy go lucky kind of like cheerful positive guy. Like it's way more compelling when you have the renegade and paragon answers, because a lot of it just feels more like a realistic response than be just being an asshole to be an asshole.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, also, no spoilers, but for people new to Mass Effect, you can min max whether you go like you can min and max it. Like you can do both, but it's recommended to pick one or the other. Like, don't keep flip flopping between your decisions. It's recommended to pick one and stick with it. But you're more than welcome to like min max.
Yeah, because when you 100% either one of them, it opens up more options for you with certain things.
Yes.
Whether
Where's the
it's
fun in
narrative
that?
options or discounts in certain shops or just different things open up for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how it all plays out. When you start, if you have your character from ME1, if you've gone like all the way one way, do you start out that way in the
No.
next game?
No. You'll have a boost in the next game, but the meter resets, so you're more than welcome to make a different decision if you want.
That is correct.
Yeah. So like it's kind of like how like if you imported your Infamous 1 save into Infamous 2, and also it wasn't really importing, it was checking which trophies you had. Um if you imported your, let's say, good save for Infamous 1 into Infamous 2, you would start at the first level of being like a hero on Infamous 2, depending on how many of the shards you'd collected um in Infamous 1, you'd have a little bit of extra power resource at the start of the game, and that was about it. Whereas with Mass Effect, let's say, for example, Dev, I don't know which way you're playing. Let's say you went full Renegade, you'd have a bit of a boost to your Renegade status when you started the game, but you're free to like go full Paragon if you want, or stay on course. Like you can, like it will start you with a small boost, but it resets the meter because there are, as the games go on, some of the decisions become more important. So,
Yeah, I just picked the answer that feels the most like me.
yep.
I don't really care whether it's Renegade or Paragon. I just look at the options like, I wouldn't say that. So I'm not saying that. Well, that sounds stupid. So I'm not saying that.
I mean, that's fair. I'm just saying, like,
I would like a video game that has a very, compelling and intriguing like bad guy to play as. I feel like Prototype 2 kind of did that.
Prototype 1 actually did that. But you didn't find out that, like, you didn't realize you were, like, that guy until, like, halfway through in Prototype 1. But that's like, Prototype 1, it doesn't have the best story. But, like, if you complete the whole Web of Shadows network type thing, like, once you get those story bits from consuming those, like, important people, um, it's a compelling bad guy.
Yeah, that's what I want. Downey says Fable, but no, I'm not playing Fable.
No, that's not.
Because that
That's not
also,
true.
it's like, it feels like choose your own adventure in Fable. It's not like you are the bad guy. You can choose to be the bad guy. I don't want to choose to be. I want a compelling bad guy story. I want Thanos the video game. Like where you believe what you're doing is so much the right thing that you don't believe that you're the bad guy or that you're evil. Like I want something like that.
Well, technically, Spec Ops: The Line was that.
Yeah, that's true.
That kind of
I
was
guess I just
exactly
want it
that line.
in more of a sci-fi type situation than real life.
Yeah. It's a little different when it's real life.
Yeah. All right, moving along. Hollywood Bones asks, the Mass Effect trilogy is one of my favorite trilogies and franchises of all time. What are your favorite trilogies or franchises of all time?
Infamous, Fallout, Mass Effect. Not a trilogy. The Last of Us. Even though I have some issues with Last of Us 2, like big ones, but you know, I like that, and there's obviously more to come from that franchise as well. If I had to just pick a trilogy, it would of course be Mass Effect because it's really the only one I can think of. Because I can't think of another trilogy that I really get into and play. Because Assassin's Creed hasn't been a trilogy in about
Well,
11 years.
he said trilogies or franchises.
I mean, yeah,
So Assassin's Creed would work, Resident Evil would work,
yeah.
Madden would work for Hulk.
Yes.
I hope Hulk's doing okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mass Effect, of course. Last of Us, and Telltale's Walking Dead.
Good
Mm,
answer.
yeah,
I
yeah,
love the
yeah.
Telltale Walking Dead series.
I'm trying to think. I feel like most of my favorite games as of late have all just been like one-offs. They haven't really had any additional games to them. So like Horizon, we know is getting a second game. Ghost of Tsushima might. I wouldn't say that Final Fantasy is one of my favorite franchises. I really only like seven.
7.
Like
Yeah.
I've played other ones, but the rest of them I don't really care for. Destiny, of course, is definitely one of my favorite franchises. Um, Legend of Zelda is one of my favorite franchises, even though like I haven't played a lot of the newer games. Metroid, one of my favorite franchises. Uh,
Spider-Man?
but yeah, I mean, I can't even say I don't know the new Spider Mans. Yeah, I didn't like the
Yeah, that's
older
what I'm
Spider
saying.
Man
Like
games. Yeah, newer Spider
the
Man, sure. Dishonored, another one that I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, that's really it. I can't think of anything else that's like a true trilogy or anything like that that I enjoy. But there are definitely some
Some
favorite
good.
franchises out there.
Oh yeah. Fallout, Elder Scrolls.
Metal Gear. I love Metal
Metal
Gear.
Gear. Yeah. Infamous, except for Second Son. Let's just toss that one out of here. It's just First Light, no Second Son. Did not like Second Son that much. All
Damn.
right. Just didn't really like it. Our last question comes from Delvin Jr. He says, "What game would you like to see an animated version of?" Wait, what? What game would you like to see an animated version of, and what animation studio would you like to see make it?
So he's referring to like a Castlevania style Netflix series, I'm assuming.
Oh, so what game do you want to see an anime version of, and what studio would you
Animated.
want to see make it?
Just animated in general. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't have to necessarily be an
Yeah.
anime studio, just an animated version of it in general. And what animation studio would you like to make it? Like for example, Ratchet and Clank made by Pixar would be a
Mm.
good answer.
I mean, it would be, except Ratchet and Clank already has an animated short and an animated movie.
Well, we're
Well, he
throwing
was
that
just
out. We're
giving
not.
an example.
Yeah.
Just an example.
My
Uh,
my answer probably would be on the serious side. I'd probably say a Last of Us series, not featuring Ellie, featuring Joel, made by the same guys who made Castlevania, Warren Ellis. But my Joel series would be a prequel series, like way back in the beginning stages of the whole outbreak and stuff like that, following Joel. That would probably be my answer. If I would do like another answer, like a lighter answer, it would probably be a Mario series made by the creators of SpongeBob. Well, the animation studio that makes SpongeBob SquarePants. So it'll be like 10-minute episodes and stuff like that.
Isn't there a Mario series in development? I'm pretty sure.
I think it's a
I
Mario
thought they
movie in
killed that.
development by
Illumination. It's by the same studio that
yeah,
does Minions and Despicable Me.
I
that's a
thought they
movie.
killed that because it leaked.
Nope.
Fucking
It's still in
Nintendo.
development.
Yeah,
That's
that's still in
heartless.
development.
If I have to pick a series, I'm gonna go with Crash. Crash Bandicoot, and like just wild hijinks. Um, by the studio that's doing the Resident Evil animation, because I don't know what studio that is. I don't really know a lot of animation studios. I'm being honest with you.
Now that you mention it, I give you an animation studio, it'll be good for Crash Bandicoot. The people who make Teen Titans Go. That would be a perfect
Yeah.
fit for Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
That ridiculous, over the
I
top.
hate Teen Titans Go.
But
Why
think
are you
of, think
bringing that
about the
nonsense in
think
here?
about the animation, not so much Teen Titans Go, but the animation style and how it would suit and fit Crash
Crash.
Bandicoot.
I mean that's fair. I hate Teen Titans Go. They killed the original Teen Titans for that, and I hate it.
Well,
I rather enjoy Teen Titans Go. My kids love it.
It's okay.
You have small children though. There's a difference.
I just love the Night Begins to
I
Shine
probably.
episodes.
Oh my God, yes, those are
Those are
so good.
fantastic.
The music, period, in Teen Titans Go is good. Anytime that Beast Boy starts singing some nonsense, it's great. It's
Yes,
great.
I agree.
For me, it would definitely be Destiny. As far as an animation studio, I have no idea because I don't really know any animation studios either. I don't pay attention. Much like I don't pay attention to directors and don't know most actors' names.
Destiny. I'm trying to think who would be who would be a good studio for Destiny? The guys who are making the Transformers Netflix series.
Oh yeah, that would work real great. That would be.
I can't remember their name, but that'd be cool.
You guys know that's Rooster Teeth, right?
That's who's making it. The Transformers Netflix series.
Yes.
Earth
I
Rides,
don't.
and I forget.
The War for Cybertron stuff that's been releasing on Netflix recently is the Rooster Teeth co-production with another animation.
Well, there you go.
studio.
So there you go. There's the gaming attachment to it too. With Destiny.
That makes a whole lot of good sense because I love Red versus Blue. That mess on YouTube was fantastic. Like
Yeah,
that
it's really
was
good.
oh man, I really enjoyed Red versus Blue. So yeah, I would love to see Destiny done in that style because there's a lot of story there, a lot of really good story there.
Hell yeah, Donnie.
Just say hell yeah, Jack. Hell yeah, Jack.
Yes.
I
'Cause
mean, yeah,
Jack
but
agrees with you.
I mean, yes,
Jack
but
agrees with you.
Donnie's the one in chat. So
Okay, well, that does it for our questions. Thank you guys so much for sending them all in. We love getting these questions, and it's always a great start to the podcast to get the brain juices flowing and going and answering all these crazy questions with our special brand of shenanigans. Now it's time to jump into some news. So, first story, what you got for us, Haley?
Hades has been rated for PlayStation 4 by the Korean Ratings Board, which potentially means that Hades will leave its Switch and PC only atmosphere soon. I'm expecting like September maybe because that'd be a year. I'm assuming there was some sort of exclusivity deal there, but love to finally get to play Hades. So
Yeah, I've heard a lot about Hades. This is one that has not really been on my radar. I really don't know a whole lot about it, mainly because it wasn't coming to a platform that I wanted to play it on. So if it comes to PlayStation, I'll probably pay it more attention. I hear it's great. Like I constantly hear how amazing this game is, but it's not something that I've paid a whole lot of attention to. But I always assumed it would come to consoles other than the Switch and PlayStation eventually, or Switch and PC eventually.
I legit thought it was on PlayStation already. Like,
nope.
that's how much I hear about it. I'm like,
Right?
is this already on PlayStation? Like, no. I guess it's not. That's just one of those things.
It's PC and Switch only right now. I'd even love if it was a shadow drop at E3.
That would kind of make sense to me.
How do we call it a shadow drop?
Well, because there's no lead up, there's no announcement. Just at the conference, it's just like, hey, Hades is available now.
Right,
See,
I get that, but why the term shadow? Why the term shadow?
Because what happens is Herman Schultz is in the background walking through the shadows, and then he physically installs the game into your system, then leaves. Much like a ninja.
Sure.
That's why it's called a shadow drop.
Sure, let's go with that. And not because there's no marketing lead up, there's no nothing. It's just dropped. And then for about 6 hours after the announcement, you can't actually download it because the store crashes.
See, what happens is
I like Delvin's answer a lot better.
He throws down
You
a
don't
smoke
get it?
bomb and disappears.
Oh,
And then it gets delayed. The release is now delayed.
It's delayed because you saw. So if you want these games to come out shadow drop, you gotta put out some milk and cookies for Herman.
shenanigans.
Yes. Yeah. Well, hopefully, it comes soon. I know people are like really excited for this game to come to a system that they have and not having to not be able to play it. So hopefully it also gets like a PS5 patch or something because I don't even want to bother with PS4. Just please little PS5. Come on, just PS5 version. Let's go. Very cool. All right, what you got for us, Delvin?
Speaking of the PlayStation Ninja, Herman Schultz.
Herman
I want to say
Holtz.
earlier this week,
It's Herman
Holtz.
Hulse.
Holtz. Look, I don't know how to say those names, but the PlayStation Ninja. Make sure I say Ninja right. I don't say that right. That's gonna be a whole other problem.
Yikes!
Earlier this week, he made people got in a hubbub because he was like, "There's over 25 exclusives in development for next gen," and apparently, this happened over on LinkedIn. And apparently, the head of PlayStation Global third-party relations said this: "Wait till you see what's coming for our third-party partners too." So apparently, really soon, we're gonna get some stuff, not only from PlayStation in general, but PlayStation third-party. So that's super exciting. What do you think it could possibly be?
This is a big one, but DualSense integration for Gotham Knights has the potential, if worked on right, to be spectacular with throwing batarangs and the gunfire. Feeling of like jumping over rooftops, I guess. I don't know. I'm just thinking of like what third-party partners could do with the DualSense, right? Like
That's kind of like my topic for the show.
I know. That's why I'm not trying to go too deep into it right now.
Do you think it could be some console exclusive, like 6-month window exclusive that we don't know about coming out?
That's what I'm thinking.
It could be 6-month exclusive type deals, but also it could just generally be that like third-party partners are really delving into working with the DualSense. So
that could be it too, yeah.
See, I would think that that's not necessarily what this guy is talking about. If he's talking about it's a response to more than 25 titles in development for PS5, nearly half of which are new IP, and the response is just wait until you see what's coming from our third-party partners too. Like, I feel like that's talking more about games in development than what we're doing with the system.
I remember a while back, I want to say it was either Imran Khan or Jason Schreier, when the whole Spider-Man exclusive news came out.
It was Imran.
He made a comment like, "This is getting you mad. Wait till you see what Sony has down the line for exclusive content." I feel like this might be alluding to what's happening right now in terms of they may have a whole bunch of third-party deals like, hey, this is going to be exclusive for 6 months on PlayStation. It's going to be stuff that you want to play. Yeah, that would be really interesting. They just got a whole bunch of those deals just line up.
I mean, it makes sense. And that could also be like more leaning into why Xbox was like, we got to buy this. We got to buy this. We got to buy that because Sony has all these exclusivity deals coming. So I do think it's definitely more towards games and exclusive stuff that will be coming to PlayStation. That's my guess. And with that, of course, if you're developing a game specifically for the PlayStation, you're going to do everything you can to take advantage of the hardware. I would assume.
Yeah.
Because why not? But yeah, man. Hopefully, we'll hear about this stuff during E3. And if it is as big as they are alluding to, it could be another reason why Sony's like, we don't need to go be at your E3. We can wait until E3 is done and then just shine the light on us and not have to share that spotlight. It's very possible.
Yeah, because I feel like, well, Bethesda's off the table in terms of this. There are plenty of other companies that's not off the table, like Ubisoft, Capcom, even Konami for that matter. Like, they can probably work out some killer deals that we don't know about.
Sony wants those pachinko machines, that's for sure.
I mean, pachinko machines make a lot of money.
Yeah, that too. But the rumor has been going on for a while that, Sony's working on a Silent Hill game. So maybe it could be something like that.
That rumor goes around every year, and I'm just like, I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. But it could be something like that.
Yep. Or a Metal Gear Solid remake.
Yeah, that just happens to be like, hey, 6 months exclusivity.
Working on that.
Yeah, I mean, it could be just exclusive games. Like, Microsoft could be out here buying studios, and Sony could just be like, yeah, we're not buying a studio, but we are going to pay to make this game for PlayStation only.
Yeah. It's probably a lot cheaper to do that.
I would imagine.
Well, again, remember, Sony doesn't have the kind of, capital that Microsoft has, so.
Right. So why buy a whole studio if I can just have you make the game just for PlayStation? And maybe have a year exclusivity or longer. Like even Final Fantasy VII, like the remake, like it said it was only a year exclusivity, but it's still not on any other system.
They
And the
just
year has already
extended
passed.
they just extended the exclusivity by 6 months from the date of the release of the new Integrate expansion. So
And they make that just because it's been extended doesn't mean it's ever going to come to anything else. It may only come to PC, if that.
Yeah.
So it could be more deals like that where it's literally just a game that is only on PlayStation consoles from third
yeah,
parties. So if you're getting 25 new IP and a bunch of third party exclusives, could be big.
I mean, y'all know how I feel about this. I'm not a huge fan of carving up the industry like that, but I don't make the
Everybody
business
else,
decisions.
the businesses apparently are though. They're like, hey, we gonna carve this up and get whatever cake we can get from it.
Yep. We're gonna drive you to our system, and this is how we do it.
I
I
do
don't
find
care
it
either.
fascinating. I find it fascinating that Sony and Xbox are taking these two completely different approaches in terms of how Microsoft is taking the whole Netflix model, like, hey, you can get Game Pass and play whatever you want. And I feel like Sony's taking the more AMC movie theater model, like, hey, you want to see the biggest, you want the Avengers type movie experience. You get it here as PlayStation. I'm going to be super interested to see which one works out for what company. Maybe they both can coexist at the
I was gonna
same
say I
time.
think they both are gonna work out. I mean, so far they're both working. Like Sony, people are trying like you still can't get one, and people are still like actively trying to get one to the point where they're still selling on eBay for ridiculous amounts of money. It's insane. But people love Game Pass, and Xbox is still selling out. So I think that ultimately, both things work. Like we've been saying, all of these systems have a compelling reason to own all of them. So I think ultimately in
Yeah.
the end, both approaches can work. You can buy the PlayStation and get it for all of these big exclusive games, and then you can also have your Game Pass machine that plays everything. I've got all of these extra games that come here, but when I want to play this big exclusive, this big third party action adventure game, I know Sony's got me covered. But for everything else, I've got an Xbox. You know,
Yeah. And I will say this more and more down the line, that Series S looking like a brilliant idea. It's like I can see myself buying a bunch of those and giving them to people for Christmas. Like, hey, here you go. In terms of my
okay,
nephews and
baller.
stuff like that, like not even that. It's just like, what is it, $300?
Yeah,
I can get that for my nephew with no problem. Like, hey, here you go for Christmas. Here's a brand new gaming console where you're already next gen ready now. Instead of you sitting there playing on your Xbox One or something like that. Here's this brand new
Okay.
console.
okay, Richie
Santa
Rich.
Delvin dropping off Series S's left and right. You get a Series S, and you get a Series S. You get a Series S.
It's a lot
Delvin,
easier to do that when my nephew's asking for a PS5. I'm like, I ain't got nothing for you, man.
Yeah, they don't
I
exist.
mean,
You're chasing a
yeah,
unicorn, bruh.
you're chasing like the chip shortage with the PlayStation. They're making them as fast as they can make them, and they're just
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah, I have several friends who have picked up a couple and have been able to sell them on eBay for 700 plus, real quick, real easy. I'm just like, you guys are part
Great.
of the problem. You guys are part of the problem. But it just goes to show, like that's what the market is. It's just crazy that people are really spending that amount of money for a PlayStation.
I mean, I paid that here for mine, but that was like the standard price in Canada. So
Let me
Well,
ask
we all know
this.
Canada's broken, so I'm
Yeah,
sorry, Haley.
completely. What do you think is a fair upsell price on a PS5?
there isn't one. Stop scalping.
Well, obviously they're not, but what would you
I'm
say
not
is fair,
answer-
like
I'm
for a
not
person?
answering this. I'm not answering this question. The fair answer is zero. Do not do
Well-
this. Stop scalping. Literally, you're part of the problem if you're scalping. Just stop.
Well, it's not going to stop. But I'm saying,
Right. So
What
what
would
I
you think
wouldn't
would
pay
be a-
more. I wouldn't pay more than 600.
that's what I was
Like
thinking.
if I found myself to be that desperate, I think that the most that I would spend is 600. Anything above that, I'm just like, I can't do it. Not gonna do it. But
The fair answer is zero. Stop scalping.
But that's not going to happen. That's not going to
yeah,
happen.
that's
And they're-
not. It's not realistic.
Yeah. And they're talking about like we may be in mid 2022 for this problem to get fixed.
Mm-hmm.
That sucks.
Yep, I can see them shooting up like big for Christmas. I can see people starting to sell these things for like $1,000 during Christmas because I feel like it'll be even less availability by Christmas. So you're gonna be able to be like, man, if little Johnny really wants a PlayStation, like I want for you, but you're gonna pay $1,000 for it. And there are gonna be people who are going to go ahead and pay that, just like there's people paying that now. Donnie in the chat says 750 is a fair price. I
I had a
mean,
friend who
you
did
got to
that,
look at
by the
it.
way.
Yeah, it's like a fair
Paid a
market
straight
price is
grand.
what you're really looking at. Yeah, I'm not. It happens, and you got to realize like there's the price, and then there's the fair market price. It's the fair market value of the system. And like Donnie said, 750 is realistic. Like that is right now a fair price for what PlayStation is going for. It's about if you have it or you don't have it, and how bad do you want it, and this is the fair market price for it. Yep. Like Donnie said, and this is the truth right here. He says sometimes these folks are helping others that have disposable income get them. It's the honest to God truth. There are people who don't have time to sit there and watch all the alerts, but they've got money and they are okay to pay that 750, that $1,000 for a system because for them it's just a drop in the hat.
Yeah.
One of my coworkers, he's older and he got one for his son and he paid like 700-800 for it because he's like, I made a bunch of money in the stock market. I've just got disposable income and I'm not going to be sitting here chasing or tracking down a PlayStation. I don't have any problem spending 750 for it. I mean, that's a
My
reality for a
friend,
lot of people.
my friend wanted one for his son for Christmas, and he was trying all November and most of December. Till he just said, "Screw it, I'll just pay $1,000 and get it. I can't disappoint my son." I'm like, yeah, I feel you.
Yeah. And if
This is
you
what
have
me
it,
trying to help him
then
find one.
yep. I mean, it's a reality. Like if you have the disposable income, you can go ahead and make that purchase. As much as it may suck for typical consumers who can't afford to do that, it's a reality for a lot of people.
Yeah,
Welcome to capitalism.
yep,
Late stage capitalism. It sucks.
yeah. Never said it was fair.
Yep. All right. So on a
What?
lighter note, go ahead, Haley.
Oh, I was just gonna say, what's your small story before we get into the big topic?
Yeah. On a lighter note, the Play at Home 2021 has an update. There's some free in-game content coming to all these little games or whatnot. There's some content coming to Rocket League, Brawlhalla, Destruction All Stars, MLB The Show. If you've chosen to pay $70 for it instead of getting it free on Game Pass, you'll get a couple of packs. So unlocking players or whatnot for your, I guess there's some kind of ultimate team thing in that game as well.
Yes.
Same with NBA 2K21. Rogue Company has some packs. World of Tanks and World of Warships. Warframe. Call of Duty Warzone has some stuff. So they're just kind of sweetening the deal with the play at home stuff by adding some additional content while we're all still playing at home.
This
So if
is
you have
also
any of
the
those games, pick that stuff up.
this is also the final play at home drop, by the way.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
But,
because we're no longer at home.
Yeah, for real. People are definitely happy to not wear masks and be out and about now.
God,
Yeah.
that's CDC guideline thing. That was ridiculous. Way too soon to be doing that with all the people that are out there already refusing to wear masks and definitely not going to get vaccinated. That was a dumb move.
Yeah, everybody's just gonna say, "I'm vaccinated. I don't have to wear a mask."
Right.
Yeah,
Right. That's the biggest issue. It's like
dumb.
how do you prove that? Like unless you're checking for vaccination cards when people walk in the door, like you can't enforce that. And it was definitely jarring to be in Trader Joe's the other day and seeing people without masks. It's like, oh. And it sucks because all of the employees are still in masks. So it's like you can't just have the common courtesy. Like for me, people who are just refusing to wear masks, like you don't have any common decency about you. Like that's legitimately how I feel. It's like
Yeah.
all the workers here are wearing masks. So just have the common courtesy in you to also just wear a mask. It's not about, protecting yourself. It's about also protecting others. So just humanity. We have lost it. at this point.
I mean,
Just
yeah.
everything going on, we've just decided humanity. We don't have humanity. We're not going to be kind to one another at all.
My favorite
Yeah.
is the videos that keep popping up on Twitter of the guys who go into like Costco or whatnot and scream about ending the tyranny of the masks. Aren't you all sick of this? And everyone around is just like, you're the only one here who feels that way, dude. Just put a mask on. Just like it's just they think they're the big brain, like best motive is just like, if I tell everyone that I'm with them about ending the tyranny of the masks, and it's just like, no, dude, you're on your own. Like, be a decent human being and wear a mask. Like,
I feel it's fascinating in terms of Florida itself. How our, not to get too political, our governor has kind of always been against this and stuff like that, and even now he's like, hey, y'all don't have to wear masks and like that. But 90% of the stores down here still require you to wear a mask.
yeah.
So even when all these restrictions lifted, you go to Walmart, big old sign say you got to wear a mask. You go to Target, big old sign say you got to wear a mask. So it's not state mandated now in Florida, but you still have to wear a mask, at least in Miami, because the store's like, we're not letting you in if you don't wear a mask. Simple as that. And it's our private company.
Yeah.
And people are getting mad because the private companies are saying, no, you have to wear a mask in here. Like,
It's the same as we reserve the right to refuse service to anyone. Like, that's still a thing. Like, no shirt, no shoes, no service. You know, it's still a thing.
Yeah, so I still see plenty of people wearing masks everywhere I go, because while our government down here has said you don't have to wear masks, our stores have not made that official. So
Yeah.
nothing's really changed.
Yeah, a couple of stores out here have lifted it. So, like Trader Joe's, Costco, like, you don't have to wear a mask to walk in. But the people who choose not to wear a mask are way fewer than the people that are wearing them. And again, all the staff is still wearing them. So you just look like the random asshole, to be perfectly honest, who doesn't care about, anyone but yourself.
So you look American. There you go.
Ah, bingo. Bingo, bango. How the hell did we get there?
I don't know.
Let's shift course. Topic of the week. The DualSense controller. Is it a gimmick or is it a game changer? Now, I know we talked a little bit about this with like our little tiny bit of Returnal discussion, and a couple of other games that have like utilized the DualSense in some way. But I find myself personally, like after playing games like Control, playing Returnal, and really seeing what this controller can do, that anytime I pick up the controller and it's not doing that stuff, I feel so just like, like I don't want to play unless you're going to give me some more. Like the experience that you get from Returnal with the DualSense, like being able to feel the individual like raindrops, and you add like the 3D audio, like you can feel where the enemies are. And when you have a company that really takes advantage of that and weaves that into the game to make it part of the gameplay experience, I feel like it's becoming less and less a gimmick and much more of a game changer, to where if you're not doing this, like you're not doing it right. And there was an article that dropped on the blog that, just went over a couple of developers and how they were starting to use the haptic feedback. Ratchet and Clank, Subnautica, Below Zero, Ghostwire Tokyo is going to be really delving into it. Life is Strange, which I think has a lot of potential to be really, really cool with the DualSense as far as sound, the 3D audio, being able to experience everything in the controller. Scarlet Nexus.
I was just going to say, especially with Life is Strange, because of the power set in the new Life is Strange, where it's like emotions. Imagine what you could do with the controller with that. So,
yeah. I mean, we've definitely stepped away from just vibration and like regular rumble. Returnal, using the aiming feature to be able to switch between regular fire and alt fire, like it legit feels so natural that it's like, why the hell haven't we been doing this all this time? To be able to have a half pull and really to be able to feel the half pull, to then the full pull through to switch to alt fire. It's just like that. Like it's like
It's cool.
why haven't we been doing this? So I just wanted to get you guys' thoughts on any game that you've played that have really utilized these features, and if you think whether or not this is just a gimmick that's kind of die off, or are we really are we seeing a changing of the guard in terms of the immersion we can get with our controllers and sound?
So the thing is that so far in most of the games, I'm not seeing like the 3D audio or like the like the rain drops in Returnal. I'm just seeing use of the adaptive triggers, and quite frankly, in some games when they use them, they're quite annoying. Uh, I'm looking at you, Borderlands. I don't need the gun. I don't need you locking my trigger every time I pull a shot. It's annoying to the point I turned it off in Borderlands. I only turned it off in Resident Evil for the last fight because I kept dying. But in Resident Evil, it was used a lot better. Like, it wasn't locking your trigger pull or anything like that. But you could feel it. Like, you would feel the pressure on the trigger when you pulled it, which is good.
And the gun feels heavier when you lift it up, depending on the gun you have.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
Like, most games are just using the triggers. Like Assassin's Creed just uses the adaptive triggers. Watch Dogs uses the adaptive triggers. Dev, this might make you happy. Watch Dogs is getting a 60 FPS mode in their next update.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm not gonna play it.
I didn't expect you to. I'm just bringing it up there. You know, like, I'm not seeing a lot of like third-party titles use anything but the adaptive triggers, which, you know, is to be expected because they can't really use that on the Xbox side. But things like Control felt great with it, and I'd be excited to see more stuff like that. That inevitable PS5 port of Last of Us 2, like, you've got to know that's going to happen because there was already partial integration with the controller in the PS4 version. I feel like there's going to be, like, we know the Last of Us remake is happening, right? Like, that's happening. We know that. I'm sure that's going to utilize it to hell and high water, and I'm sure there'll be a PS5 version of Last of Us 2 bundled in there with it. That could really take it up a notch. So I don't know. I wouldn't call it a gimmick, but I also wouldn't call it a game changer because right now it's mostly just third-party games coming out. There's no like big.
Yeah, and I'm not talking necessarily about like right now. I'm talking more about like if you read this article and you see what a lot of the companies are starting to do with it, and once you play Returnal and you see it, like Miles Morales used it, but it didn't use it anywhere near to the extent that Returnal does. And once you feel that, it's like a whole different experience.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna get to play Returnal until like December, maybe. So.
Yeah.
But Ratchet, I've read what they're doing with it, so I'll definitely get to feel it there. I don't know. Yeah. I think it has the potential to be a game changer, but if it stays being used the way it is now, it could just become a gimmick that fades.
Yeah, I pray that it doesn't, and I really want to play Borderlands to see what you're talking about because to me that sounds awesome. I'm excited about Deathloop and the possibility of like the gun jamming and having to work around that. Like I feel like that's more immersion, and I like that kind of stuff. What about you, Devin?
Excited for it. I think it is a game changer. I hope that Xbox follows suit and has their own version of DualSense and do their own thing with it because it feels like it works, man. When it's working, it feels cool. It feels great. I can't wait until the new PSVR comes out and you can use DualSense with that. It's just all the possibilities of gameplay. I can't wait to play like Horizon sequel and be like pulling the bow back and feeling it inside the controller. There are so many cool elements of DualSense that I feel like we're only in stage one of it. That's crazy. We're playing Returnal and getting everything we got. We're still in stage one of like the powers of what DualSense can do. Like, I want to see how
Horizon sliding through the grass and feeling the individual blades of grass as you slide through it. And that reminds me of like the raindrops in a Returnal, and that just sounds incredible.
I mean,
it's amazing.
that's exciting stuff. But we need more than just first party developers to take advantage of all features, not just
Well, yeah.
the
So
triggers.
Subnautica, for example, is not a first party developer, and they're taking use of it with sound as well as haptic feedback in all the different stuff, not just the triggers. Same with Ghostwire Tokyo, Deathloop. These are all companies that are for Life is Strange. Like these are all third party companies that are developing and starting to use it. Remember, like Delvin said, like this we're in just stage one. So now companies are starting to actually release games that have been in development a little bit longer. So we should start seeing a lot more use of more than just the triggers. And I mean, when you're playing a shooter, I mean, it's mainly going to be the triggers because that's your main method of playing the game is shooting. So
I can't, like I said, there's so much they can add to it, and it's just great, man. I'm super happy with it. I know some games kind of get carried away with it, but that's gonna happen when you're
yeah,
bringing in new kind of things to a system. You're gonna have people who are gonna overdo it, people who are gonna underutilize it. I'm just happy that people are excited for it and they're adding it into their games. So I want to see how far they go with it. Hopefully, we get more games to do it. I feel like a game like Until Dawn, like a sequel to that, would be really cool with haptic feedback and things like that. It's just great. I love it.
yeah, yeah. I'm excited to see what they do, and like the sound. Y'all know I pretty much only play with headphones, and a lot of the soundscapes that the companies are using and being able to develop, like Control, being able to not only like when she's running, you can feel like her heels hitting the ground, but you also hear it, and it
Yeah.
just
Yes.
creates this really cool immersion effects. Same with the hiss, like you hear the hiss so much more clearly, and it's you can like where they are, like you actually can tell a lot better than when I was playing it on PC with the same headphones. Like it's a night and day experience. Same with Returnal, being able to feel the raindrops, but also hear the raindrops, the lightning effects. When there's actual like a thunder crash, and being able to feel that in the controller as well as hear it and feel like it's in the distance and the way it goes with the controller. Like there's so much that they're doing with the immersion from sound and feel standpoint that I feel like this is definitely they're on the cusp of something like a changing of how we interact with our games, and I'm really excited about it. And I feel like it doesn't get talked about enough, personally.
It does. It definitely doesn't. And
Yeah,
I
and
think
part of that.
the
Go ahead. Sorry.
now I was gonna say I think the further down the line we get, especially with like well, talk about earlier with PlayStation talking about, oh, we got all these third party things we're working on. I feel like they're gonna have good some haptic feedback into it, and we'll see. The further along down the line we get with this console generation, the more we're gonna see people utilize it. Or to contrast that, the less we'll see people utilize it. It's based on how we as the fans of PlayStation take to it. If we take to it and we show we love it and we support it, we're gonna keep getting more of it. If we don't and
Yeah,
we keep complaining about it, we'll obviously see less of it.
yeah. I'm definitely excited to see what Ratchet and Clank does. Just how that game feels and
They've
sounds.
they've
Um,
said picking up bolts is gonna feel great.
yeah, I'm really excited for all of that. Just being able to feel the footsteps, feeling the different like surfaces and stuff like that, the way all the different guns may feel. Really excited for what that may feel like. And it's so funny. It's so jarring going from Returnal to Mass Effect, and Mass Effect doesn't do anything with them. It's just like, oh,
Yeah.
like just the trigger pulls just feel weird.
I
They don't feel
mean,
Well, let
right.
me ask you both this. I have a question for both of you guys. Do you think it's a good sign that we're getting controllers so fast that hey, this is something that's going to
yes.
be around for a while? Because
Y-
pretty soon we're going to be getting new controllers.
I mean, okay, two things. This is normal for color rollout. It's about the standard time it usually takes for PlayStation to roll out different colors. However, the fact that we're getting the controller that most people asked for, which is the two-tone black, and a red controller, I would say yes, but also that like color controllers aren't really a definitive sign of like, hey, they're being used. Now, I'm still seeing people to this day on Twitter, and like if you search PlayStation, a lot of people are just praising the feedback. So like it's definitely a good sign that like everyone's enjoying the features. Um, with me, it's just like a sensory issue when I turn them off. Like here's my thing. Like they don't bother me all the time, but in games like Borderlands, hi, this is where the fact that I'm autistic really shows. You start locking triggers on me and stuff, it really irritates my hands. Like, and that, like, if you start like aggressively locking them, like pushing back against them, like the bow does in Assassin's Creed, that doesn't bother me. It's when you lock the controller and I literally can't push the button. It hurts my hands. Like that's when I have to start turning your features off. Other than that, I haven't exactly had an issue with them. Like they've been great. I've enjoyed the features. The haptic feedback feels great. Most of the games I've played with the use of the adaptive triggers are great, and I'm seeing that represented on Twitter and in some Facebook groups that I'm in, where people just love these features. The downside is that we don't actually know, because Twitter and Facebook and these gaming communities are such a minute section of the gaming community. Like you got to wonder how the common consumer feels about it, the people who aren't keeping up with all the news, right?
Yeah, indeed. We all have our little microcosms of what we can see and what we see and hear. Um, my personal friends, they don't play enough games to even notice. They play
Notice it.
Madden, they play 2K, they play Call of Duty. They're not paying attention to any of that. So I don't have a really good. Like I have like one or two friends who actually play games that aren't those and notice, oh wow, this feels different. Like I have one friend who played Returnal and was like, holy crap, I did not realize like what all this controller does. I have like one friend who played Astrobot and was like blown away by how the controller felt and how it was used. But your typical consumer, the ones who pretty much drive the industry by buying all of the sports games and the annualized Call of Duties, I don't know if they're paying any attention to any of that.
I feel like they will if they add it into Madden in a
Yeah.
substantial way. Like where you can literally feel the hits or you can feel your feet running across the grass and stuff like that. If you start adding it into the sports game, into that with that amount of detail, like you can feel the football leave your hand when you throw it, that would be super cool.
Yeah. I wonder if they've added anything where like if you're running through mud or snow, like it totally feels different. Like I wonder if they've done anything like that. I have not played this year's Madden, so I don't know. But that could definitely be something they could do to add to it. Being able to feel like if you're playing like 2K and you pull a stop or a jab, being able to kind of feel that slide in
Yeah.
the like that slide or that give when you're making a jab step or anything like that or a jump stop, that could be pretty cool for sports games. And I hope that we see a lot more of this going forward because it's really, really good. And the sound,
Yeah.
just oh god, play with headphones, people. Like I can't stress it enough. Headphones are the way to game. Delvin,
Literally,
stop using your sound bar. Put your headphones on, sir.
I can't. I have
literally, the,
people in my house who like to talk to me.
literal. Okay, then play with one ear off if you need to
No,
talk
no,
to
no, no.
someone.
Tell them this is my time. Go away.
Literally,
This is my game time.
I watch TV. I play games, all with these on. I don't use the sound on my TV.
Yeah, yeah. Just Delvin, stop it with these people talking to you when you're trying to play a game. Tell them to go away.
I have a funny thing about that.
This episode.
The only time where I would be able to sit in my house and play games by myself unbothered is right now. While they're at church. So, and usually when I finish,
Dang.
they are walking back in the door from church. So, yeah, it's not happening.
That's so funny because yeah, that's why I pretty much do all my gaming after my kids go to bed because I'm like, look here, I'm not listening to you while I'm playing. I want to be left alone. I want to be able to focus. If you're sitting here asking me for stuff, one, I'm going to be irritated and very short with you. 2, I'm probably going to throw something. So I just, when everybody else is doing something and busy and sleep, that's when I game so I can put my headphones on. I'm sorry that your household doesn't allow you to play games, Delvin.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate to say the least.
Just kick them all out. Y'all gotta go. y'all gotta go. Get out of here.
I tried that.
Jesus.
I will no longer elaborate on that scenario.
Please don't.
Oh man. All right, well, that is gonna do it for this week's episode of PlayStation XP. Episode 83 of the PlayStation Experience. We hope you guys enjoyed yourself. Please feel free to give us a follow over on the Twitters at PlayStation XP. Stop by our blog at psvg.blog. And just remember, the master feed is gone. So any of our shows that you want to subscribe to, you got to subscribe to them individually. If you just search for PSVG in your podcast app of choice, it'll bring up all the shows. So feel free to subscribe to all of them, subscribe to a few of them. Just check them out where we've got lots of shows are all there. Also, we have our Patreon where for just $3 a month, you get all of the additional ridiculous content like Sweet Hangs and Strong Style. And one day, Delvin to get his own DLC episode. If you guys subscribe, we'll make it happen. We'll make it like a Patreon tier. Once we hit a certain amount of money, we'll go ahead and give Delvin a DLC behind the scenes episode.
Is he still the only one without one at this point?
No, there's a few others. But it's just more fun to make fun of Delvin. So that's what I'm going to do.
Yes, it is.
And with that in mind, I'd like to give a special thank you to our patrons at the producer level: Mr. Michael Masick, Barry Cathcart, Edwin Callow, Stephen Keller, Nick Creature, Root Days 93, Ben Moxham, Rob Emanuel, Nick Fall Harbor, Paul Calico, Kyle Heyman, Grouchy Surge, myself, Josh the Bone Saw Bone, RJ Kern, Horse Girl 69, and Zachary Adams. Thank you guys all for joining us in the journey that is PSVG. And with that out of the way, let the people know where they can find you, Haley.
You can find me over on Twitter at Shepard Zarel. You can find me on a game platform of choice at Haley Zarel. If you're going to add me and I don't know where you're from, please send me a message. Please. It's not fun just getting random people. I've gotten a couple this week that are games, private, friends, private. Just a message, and I'm just like, who are you? Like, I don't know.
Who are you?
You can find me on twitch.tv/Haley Zarel as well. I won't be able to stream this week until after Wednesday, and then hopefully after Wednesday I'll be able to have like a steady schedule that I can give. Things are in progress, essentially. Potentially, I may or may not have a job after Wednesday. So at that point, we might be able to have a schedule to go on. But currently, I can't stream until after Wednesday. So
hopefully, Haley will have a job after this week.
Woohoo!
I like how you think this is going to change my TV watching habits or how much
I just want you to have a job.
I mean, me too. But also, like, I know that you and Delvin, you and Dev have both been like, you got too much free time on your hands. Yeah, I'm still gonna have a lot of free time on my hands.
You do, but
maybe you won't watch as many shows over.
You'll now just have so much free time with a job. There's a vast difference.
Yeah.
That's my brand, though.
We're gonna watch
bad TV.
The Vampire Diaries for the 47th time.
I mean,
back to back.
I'm about to finish season 4 again. So yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Also,
they make other shows. You know that, right?
Hi.
New shows consistently come out.
I mean, I know they do, but also like the Vampire Diaries is great, and also I'm about to refinish season 4 of Arrow and season 2 of The Flash, and you know, like, it's fun.
I don't know how
If
to
you
respond
want,
to
if
that.
you want my Tumblr
I know.
shenanigans, it's tumblr.com. It's Haley'sRoyal.tumblr.com. So there you go.
Yeah. What about you, Delvin? Where can the people find you and that wonderful episode 200?
You can find me on Twitter at Delvin_Cox. Check out the Delvin Cox Experience. Anywhere you get podcasts, including and especially episode 200, which is on YouTube. It is a Snyder cut of an episode. 3 hours and 20 minutes, I think I want to say. But I
Woof.
think it's a fantastic episode. Some people have said it's one of my best episodes. So definitely go check that out.
Excellent. And you can find me at Dat Ninja Dev pretty much everywhere. Feel free to follow me, talk some trash, come hang out in our Discord, and all that good stuff. And with that, long live play.
PlayStation